Bracketology presented by Dave Campbell's Texas Football, breaking down the 2022 Texas High School Football Playoff brackets. That's Ishmael Johnson. I'm Greg Tepper. It's time for the smallest 11-man classification, 2A Division II. And sometimes 2A Division II, it seems like it goes either one of two ways. Either you have one team romp to a title, or you have like a huge upset that suddenly upsets the apple cart. Last year, when Fall City beat Mart in the semifinal, it really upset the apple cart. This year, which way is it going to go? We don't really know yet.
Exactly. We saw Stratford last year come out with a state title. A couple years ago, we saw Windthorst pull off one of the biggest upsets I think we've seen in recent history. My gut tells me we kind of return to form this year, right? But we kind of, that's usually when the upsets happen, right? So when we kind of pencil in Mart for having another one, okay, then they're getting upset in the state title game, then they're getting upset in, earlier last year. We'll see. We'll see where this goes.
Let's start in Region 1. Up here in Region 1, this does feel a little bit more wide open than it has been in past years, but I look at a team like Wellington as probably the favorite to come out of Region 1. The Skyrockets have been very strong all year long. Vega, the champions of District 1, will give them a challenge potentially. And then I like New Home. New Home is a team that I think has flown under the radar, moving up from 6-man football up to 11-man, but has played really good. I think you look at Wellington as probably the favorite in Region 1.
Wellington is a program that I've been wanting to they've been on the cusp for so long, right? And I think this is finally the year. They finally have the team, the experience, the talent there to really make a push and really punch through to AT&T. I'm really hoping that this is the year, because it seems like every year they're top 10, top 5, and they're right there, and then they just stumble along the way. But this year looks like the year potentially for them.
If you're looking for a sleeper here, I think that the winner of potentially a Rawls and Clarendon regional or area round matchup could make a deep run. So keep an eye on that. Over to Region 2 we go. Down in Region 2, you've got a number of teams that have been to the big stage before, including Windthorst, the state champion from 2020. You've got a team like Albany with Denny Faith. They are no stranger to the big stage as well. And then you've got Wink. Wink is a team that has one of the best players in the state, and Cannon Gibson. This is going to be a really fun region that I think especially once we get to that second round, you're going to start really sorting things out and getting some big-time matchups.
You mentioned New Home jumping up from 6-man. How about Sterling City as well? But yeah, no, I agree. I think that you're looking at Wink, in my opinion, maybe Windthorst, just based off that pedigree as well. We talked about them winning a state title a couple years ago. I'll probably pencil that in as my favorite to be the regional final there coming out of here.
Yeah, I really like Albany, a team that's great pedigree. They run the ball really well, and their defense, we know that defense travels in the playoffs. Over to Region 3. Region 3 we go. And this is where the team that has also dominated their region for years and years and years, the Mart Panthers. I look up and down here. There's other teams I like. I like Lovelady. I like Price Carlisle. Ultimately, though, it does feel like Mart and everybody else.
I was about to say, this year, it seems like the year where it's kind of a return to form, right? Kevin Hoffman kind of flirted with retirement, then he's like, nope, I'm back, I'm coming back, and all of a sudden, Mart's right back to where they are. So I definitely worry about the field in this region, because it just seems like Mart's going to have, I don't want to say an easy path, because again, that's usually when the upsets happen, but definitely probably pencil them in as the favorite coming out of Region 3.
Like we were talking about other brackets, like teams that have just dominated their region for so long, I've got to see somebody come close to Mart before I'm willing to think somebody's going to beat them within Region 3. But then down to Region 4, because it was not Region 3 that fielded a state finalist from a year ago. It was Region 4. It was these boys, the Beavers of Fall City. Now, they have not had the same year that they've had in the past years, and I think they're in big danger in that first-round matchup against Bremond. But you've got other teams there that I think could challenge them, most notably Chilton, which has been on a roll. Burton has gotten their wheels back on after a really slow start. And then Sabinal, coming off their first undefeated regular season since 1929. This is a fun region that is going to be really physical, which is always the hallmark of 2A Division II Region 4.
Exactly. I know we mentioned in the other video we did, we mentioned Canadian and Gunner. I know Fall City Mart has been a state semifinal that they're very familiar with, but I like Burton a lot. This Burton team's been really impressive this year. They took a couple years, I don't want to say off, but they took a couple years down after D. Winters, that team left, and so they've finally gotten their feet under them again. I like them a lot potentially coming out of here.
And the other thing I would take a look at this is the power is very clearly in District 13. So Chilton, Bremond, Milano, and Granger. That was all four of those teams were at one point state ranked. Yeah. So this is a really deep region or deep district. There wouldn't be a surprise to see all four of them make to a regional semifinal, but there are plenty of landmines there. So when you take a look at 2A Division II, again, it does feel like Mart is your favorite here. Over here, maybe a team like Wellington, maybe a team like New Home gets hot, Vega as well. Over here, you've got a number of contenders, right? Wink, Albany, Windthorst, maybe Munster. When they play their paper, they're really good, and they've got state championship pedigree as well. And then over here, again, District 13 or Burton in a lot of ways feels like that. But the question is going to be, can anybody beat Mart?
Yeah, and the teams that have gotten Mart in the past, they're always going to have the best athletes on the field in 282. Has been the ones that can punch them in the mouth,
yes.
right? You remember that state championship against Windthorst. That's the kind of style. You got to kind of make them get grimy, get a little bit physical. And I'm not saying Mart can't do that, but they're not used to teams doing that right up against them. Mm-hmm. And so if that is the question is if any team can beat Mart, that's the way and that's the style you're going to have to play. We'll see which team can break out that style and get them in a one-off.
It's going to be a lot of fun. 2A Division II, we'll have you covered every step of the way at TexasFootball.com.